Correct.
I sure can.
Is everyone signed in? Second.
Yes, sir. Conflict. Any problems with you?
You guys all ready? All right, well, go ahead, call the roll.
We'd like to call a meeting to order. It appears that we have a quorum.
Certainly, we can verify that.
You had a good time, didn't you?
14 quorums present.
Which is well above what's necessary for a quorum. Next is approval of the minutes from last year's meeting, November 14th, 2023. Pages 2 and 3 in your packet. If you don't have a copy of the minutes from last year's meeting, there are copies up here if you'd like to grab one. They are the furthest on the right. I believe it's 2 pages. Maybe 3? I could be wrong. Is there anything necessary for the motion to approve the minutes from last year?
I'll make a motion to approve the minutes from last year.
Motion, second please.
I'll second that.
Thank you.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? None. The minutes from last year's November 14th, 2023 meeting have been approved. Those will go up on the portal for all of you who are not here or do not have a copy or wish to get it at any other time. First thing tomorrow morning. Next is the statement of the board, the positions that are open on the board currently that are up for election. We do have 3 positions open as of right this second. The 2 that are remaining are not up for election, Dorothy and Janice. The other 3 are open for election at this time. At this time, speaking of, are there any nominations that would like to be considered to be for the board during this election that have not previously considered themselves? Anyone would like to run from the floor at this point?
Can we nominate someone?
You may.
I nominate Pat McAvoy to run for the board.
So be.
Someone second it? I'll second it. All in favor?
Aye.
Okay.
So Pat is officially on the ballot at this point.
As a write-in?
Correct. And at this point, at any point when you have your ballot, you can write in any name you'd like at this point also. But now Pat is declared. Any in the candidates, I believe all of you are here. There are 5 candidates, correct? 1, 2, 3. It's silent.
So it's not a
Silent.
attendance.
Not here.
It's working.
Gotcha. Okay, so there are 4 candidates in present. There are 5 who are currently on the ballot. The 4 can make a very quick introduction of themselves if they would like at this point. In any order you'd like.
I'll introduce myself.
Thank you.
How's everybody doing today? Are we doing okay? Okay, I'm Crystal Kyles at 42 Dominion Court. I've been here 22 years, a long time. So I've seen a lot of things, a lot of changes. I'm excited about the future. If any of you know me, see me at the pool or walking around or something, I'm a people's person. I love to talk to people. I probably talk too long sometimes. Me and my little dog, we walk around. Do we have to do? My husband is a double lung transplant. So sometimes he don't feel that great. That's why he's not here tonight. But we've been here 22 years. We have 3 children. Our oldest is 40. The middle is 20. And then the baby boy is 16. So we got a nice little stretch in between there. I think I want to be on the board. I know I stepped in for somebody who kind of retired off for a while. But it's been kind of exciting to me a little bit. I like to bring a different flavor, a different color, a different aspect to the board. I'm not the type to be fussy and mean or suing and all that kind of stuff. So, you know, I'm the type of person, I guess you can always say, kind of like the underdog, I always go for the underdog. So I always try to look out for the person that needs, or that's what I do in the city. We have a ministry. My husband's been pastoring for 25 years. We serve underprivileged children in the city. I oversee a Christian school, ages 3 to 7 years old, in the city, in the Austin community, if you know where that is, Chicago Avenue and Cicero. So that's my passion, helping people, loving people, spreading the gospel, feeding the hungry, clothing the naked. That's what we do. So that's why I think I would like to be a part of the board. I was honored when Dorothy and Janice and Pat and Tony asked me to step in, and it's been something. It's been something, and I'm okay with it. So I hope and pray that you consider me if you wish, if you want to. If not, that's okay too. You know, I still have a life. I'm still doing some things, but I like to see new things happen. I recommended putting hopscotch down and 4 squares and getting some jump ropes and things, because sometimes children just don't want to get in the pool. They may want to do something different. So we have a lot of new couples, not just living in our condo, in our townhouses, but moving into the building that have children, young children. So I know when we first moved here, it wasn't anything for my children to do, just go to the pool. So I think that we have to look forward, not spending a lot of money, not doing that, that's not my thing, you know, not spending a lot of money, but just doing some things that are easy, simple, to bring continuity, to bring fellowship, to bring friendship, so that we can all meet and greet each other, see when somebody lost a loved one, show them some love and some compassion. When somebody has a baby, spread some joy and think about that, be excited for them with that. Somebody gets married, or, you know, somebody loses a loved one, a mom or whatever. You know, just be a neighbor. That's where I come from, just being a neighbor. And I think that that's what's needed more so in the community. A lot of us are busy working, and sometimes you don't get an opportunity to meet your neighbor. And that's okay, because you gotta, you know, make your ends meet and stuff. But when you see each other, let's greet each other. You know, let's be friendly, let's be kind, and let's make this work. I think it's a beautiful neighborhood. I was excited when I moved here. Pool, tennis court, even though I don't play tennis, but I was excited about all of that. So I think we have a great community around here. I believe we have some great people, and it's okay to be different, you know, but just as long as we respect each other. And I think that that's very, very important. So again, I'm Crystal Kiles, and I'm here to serve whatever way that I can, however I can, under the jurisdiction of this wonderful board who's been teaching me some things. You know, I know about real estate. We own property in the city. We own property in Oak Park. We were one of the first African Americans to buy property on Madison Street in Oak Park almost 40 years ago. So I have a little history with that, and doing a lot of things that really just try to help serve people and try to make a difference and keep peace. They call me the peacemaker, okay? They call me the peacemaker, because that's what I try to do. I try to keep peace wherever I go, okay? Thank you so much. And if you have any questions, you can see me afterwards. You want my autograph or something like that, you can do that afterwards.
Thank you. We just go right down the ballot. Price?
Yes, my name is Price. I've lived here for 22 years. By trade, I am a commercial electrical and lighting contractor. I served as the president for 5 years, about 15 years ago. And the reason that I stepped up then is not unlike what it is now, in that I found that I moved into a situation that was untenable. We had a board that had driven our finances into the ground, and I wound up getting special assessed within 2 months of closing in my home. Thankfully, I was able to connect with some like-minded individuals here, and we replaced the board and immediately got to work on straightening out the financials. In addition, there was a lot of favoritism that was being practiced prior to me serving, and we spent the first year authoring a set of rules and regulations which set a level playing field, so that everybody knew exactly what our expectations were of one another. In addition to that, to follow up on Crystal's thoughts of community, one of the first things that we instituted was a during the summertime where we asked each of the board members to invite adjacent neighbors, both from our association and from neighboring associations, over to their home for cheese and wine on a Friday night. It was an opportunity for people to meet with one another outside of what is often a contentious atmosphere in a board meeting. And as a result of that, community was built, friendships were forged, and we had a really nice situation for that 5-year term. Sadly, I was going through a divorce and wasn't able to serve the capacity that I thought I needed to, so I stepped aside at that time, and here I am 15 years later.
Appreciate it. Bob?
Right, right. I wish I had written down everything that Crystal said. She repeated a lot of it. But my name's Bob Gorski. My wife is Barbara. We've had to make a typo correction for my little bio sheet there. We didn't move in 2018, we moved in 2019, so we've been here about 5 years now. And we moved from Elmhurst. All of our kids are in their 30s, one's about to be 40. We moved here because my wife's a Presbyterian minister and she had a job in Elk Grove Village, and now she's up in Arlington Heights, and this was a halfway point between my business office in Elmhurst and where she worked. So, and she's the competitive golfer, and I play for fun, and I only use smiley faces. I don't keep score. And most of the time they're frowns. They're not happy faces. So, just a little background about me. I started a company back in '83, and we've had bricks and mortar offices all these 40 years, and so I've kind of overseen when we've remodeled the offices that we rented out for that. We also owned 2 houses at one time, not at the same time, but we owned a first house and a second house. We remodeled both of those over the years, and so we've been involved in real estate as well. And we have a lake house up in Twin Lakes as well. So, you know, I'm kind of a DIY guy, and I like to roll up my sleeves, and I'm a MacGyver guy at times too, just kind of figuring out the best solution. And so I like to do a lot of the things on our own homes myself, and when need be, you know, hire the qualified professionals too. I think a lot of things might be able to be done here. We just, some of us have the skills, and we might be able to do some of the things around here if the board can provide the supplies. You know, we'd have to kind of go through the process of approving that. I see a lot of things that can improve, and part of that is the experience not only running and managing our homes and fixing things there and remodeling things, but I also am helping out 3 churches right now with their building and grounds because they're short-staffed. So, you know, I'll help them figure out what's wrong, how do the furnaces work, yada yada, and we'll be fixing things, and you know, whether it's plumbing or electrical for them. So I feel like I bring a lot to the table. Having run the business all these years, I'm pretty familiar with budgets and cash flow issues and different ways of doing things. And if elected, I just am really committing to you to echo a lot of things that Crystal has said. As far as I like calm, peaceful meetings and treating everybody with dignity.
That's
and
right.
listening to one another, even though we might disagree and have strong feelings about things, the dignity is important.
Absolutely.
So, and I also echo a few things that Price has shared as well. I think, you know, there's some improvements that we can make here, but I think time is of the essence on a lot of them. I've seen a lot of things that have, it seems like it's kind of deteriorated, some things have deteriorated from an appearance perspective and also from a safety perspective here. I know the railing on our garage is about a 5-pound push from falling over onto the driveway, and I don't know that my railing is the only one. So we need to really get a good assessment of what are some of the issues, especially if you have kids or grandkids around, and we need to have the money available to take care of those things right away, not wait for 2 or 3 board meetings before it's decided on whether we have enough money to do it. So I'd like to see some changes in the frequency of how often we meet. And I'd like to see a reserve study done so that we can get professional engineers and architects in here to give us a good objective report that we can modify if they've made some incorrect assumptions, and work with some professional opinions about what we need to do about these things and how to prioritize them, and then think outside the box on how to fund them. So that's me, and stop by anytime. I've got a lot of energy, I don't sleep much, so email me at any time, but just call between 8 and 8. Okay.
Thank you, Bob. And Pat?
My name's Pat McAvoy. I've been a member of the association since 2013. I've served on the board for about the last 10 or 11 years in various capacities. I agree that when times there are disagreements, but I don't think we have to be disagreeable in seeking solutions. And so I intended not to run, and we've had some disagreements recently that it made me concerned, and when I was asked if I would consider a write-in, I said, well, sure. If people want, I'd be glad to serve. I think the community has a strong financial base at this present time, and I think that with good planning, as Bob indicated, we can prioritize projects better than we have in the past. I think we get a little hung up on our process where we try to get 3 bids for every project, but getting vendors to bid can be a pain in the lower extremities. So we need to streamline that process. So that's my commitment to you. If elected, I would work towards saying. Thank you.
Appreciate that, Pat. Again, once again, Cy is also on the ballot. If you'd like to see his candidate sheet, we have a printout of that as well. That being said, we do need 2 volunteers in order to proctor the election at this point.
Raise your hands.
Cannot be a candidate at this point?
Dave and serve as your.
Mike
No,
O'Neill.
why don't you raise your hand? Can you talk about the campus vote?
Can I ask a question before voting?
This is yours.
Yeah, I basically have a question for present candidates. What you will be doing differently regarding this brick project, Hacker project, and our this year landscaping?
Actually, those are 2 items that are on the board meeting agenda, which we will be discussing after the election.
I just want to know what their vision, what they will be doing.
Oh, I see what you're saying.
differently.
Up to you if you'd like to answer.
I guess I have a question. Should we talk about those things before we vote? Because then it may eliminate some questions that people have, or you have to vote now?
No.
Those need to be decided by actual board members, so
Correct.
Gotcha.
the new board is elected.
I guess where I'm at with what you're talking about, the brick work that they had done, the tuck pointing that they had done. There were some projects that were good. There were some projects where it looked like it was some things that weren't as perfected like it should have been. As far as from what I've learned, the management company is investigating that and going back with the people who did it, the vendor that they got to do it, and trying to get some type of a resolution to serve, to figure out, what's the best thing to kind of carry that over. Was there issues with yours?
It was issue still going on.
With your tuck pointing?
Yep. Still going on. I just want to know everybody's, what they will be doing different. Yeah, I thought.
Well, of course, that's not my area of expertise, so the only thing that I would say is that when they get the right person to look at it and investigate, and then, of course, pricing is always a matter, because I can congratulate this board right now, because they have definitely kept our prices down, and they have some money that they have saved, some money that's able to go back into reserves. So there is money there to fix whatever needs to be fixed, but they will make sure that the pricing is right, because they don't want you to have an additional assessment.
Basically, what you are saying, they get some money back
I think so.
from the capital project?
No. that was not
What she
it.
talking about?
You were saying that there'll be no additional assessments.
I said, they will look at the price, and hopefully, maybe they won't have to get an additional assessment, that's what I said.
Yeah, but she's saying that you're gonna give money back, and that's not.
Oh, maybe I got misunderstood, right?
Yeah, I misinterpreted. My question, what you will be doing differently? What other way, what should be done before starting project? Let's say maybe like this.
I think that's something that when we have the new board in place, that they would have to need to discuss in front of all the homeowners and during the board meeting at that point. I think at this point, it's unfortunately, it's not something that we can actually talk about at length because there's no project in front of us in order to do
Yeah,
so.
but I think it's better to hear everybody's point of view before election.
Can I talk?
Go ahead.
Okay. I think if you had to do it all over again, I think a good thing, a couple of things to consider. If you had a good reserve study, and the old reserve study that was done, like in 2018, had pictures that the engineers and their staff took of all the issues on all the buildings where tuck pointing was off and where other things that were weak and reported. If you had something like that you could give each of the groups that you went out to a bid with and say, here are all the things that we want to fix, and they all had the same, they all had the same specifications of what was needed.
Approach, yeah.
Yeah, and then the other thing that you'd want to do is you'd never want to make the last payment until you did a quality control check. Because then you're holding something over their heads to make sure that the work gets done. And the last payment should always be a big chunk. So if I had to do it again, I would do it that way. As far as poor quality work that might have been done to date, if you don't have any money that you can give them, that you have held back, you're kind of up a creek. And if you go the attorney route, then you're using association money to try to get it, you may never get it, so.
Yeah, thank you, thank you. But what you will be done differently?
I think it's pretty much completed. There are some cosmetic issues on a couple of buildings that need to be addressed. But for the most part, I'm satisfied with the work that was completed, especially for the cost.
Basically, from beginning, you will be done absolutely same way.
I'm sorry?
You will be done same way, how it will.
Well,
You
we
will
went
be
through-
doing same how it was done.
We went through a process where we had 3 vendors involved. We ended up with 3 different bids. When we selected the final vendor, we checked references
Yeah, that's what-
for the quality of work that they had from a reputation standpoint. And granted, oftentimes, a vendor's not gonna give you a bad customer. He's gonna give you a good customer. So, you know, we followed up on those from a process standpoint. To Bob's point about holding back, we held back for 90 days.
Okay, thank you. What you will be doing differently?
I'd be making a motion that we amend our rules and regulations. So for any project that has a potential value of over $5,000, by default, we'll have to have a request for proposal created to establish a set of specifications, a timeline for the project to be completed, and so that we provide a document that bidders can use to provide us with apples-to-apples proposals, so that there's no wiggle room for these people to say, well, we didn't understand that, or we weren't aware of the scope of the project. Okay, it's all clearly defined.
Okay, thank you. And basically, same question. Thank you, everyone. And it's not good that Say is not here. We can't hear his answer. Same question regarding the last landscaper team who damaged a lot of Gardens, I hear from the last meeting, it was in September or October, I don't remember, mine was damaged also. What you will be doing differently?
Well, there isn't really much differently that we can do, and I'm just gonna step in and say that right now. What the important is, we're actually gonna discuss that very specifically in the board meeting portion of this. And I think that the new board, whomever gets elected, will be able to make a solid decision based on that, and also based on a lot of my recommendations and dealings with the current landscapers also. I don't think we can make anything differently as it was. However, we can do a lot in the future, of which I propose that I would guide rather than the actual board members because of my direct contact with the vendors at this point. And I gotta be honest with you, I'll be the first one to say that I'm unhappy with the vendors, the landscapers as well. For those of you who know, I've been chasing them just as much, if not more so than you have. So the fact of the matter is, there's gonna be change, but it's not gonna happen right now. There's gonna be a lot of change, especially with landscapers. But again, it's not gonna happen right now. So I think that's something we need to wait until the end of the season before we can even do that. And again, we will discuss this further in the board meeting later after the election.
Okay, then can I rephrase my question another, bring another point? What about the covering our driveways?
Same thing.
In the same thing?
Yep.
In October instead of April, for example, to enjoy it?
Same thing.
Okay.
We haven't updated on that as well with the motion to be filed as well in the board meeting.
Okay, thanks
I
for
think-
your answers. Yeah.
Right. How do you wanna, where do you want him? No, I mean, where do you want to put him? Back in? Where?
Yeah, we can go back there.
Okay.
You have the ballot sort of set up on a percentage basis.
I have,
On his spreadsheet.
on here, I have the ballots, I will calculate them on the spreadsheet once it's on there, and I will also, if necessary, do it by hand later. That being said,
Well, we can write in the percentage of ownership at the bottom page.
Already got it.
Okay.
Yep.
There you go. So as the ballot is cast, the percentage of ownership will be written at the bottom of each.
Correct.
ballot.
Great, we're going to have the video camera back here to record the chain of custody and all these. So if you don't mind, we'll make room for you and your laptop adjacent to these gentlemen.
Sure. He's got the actual computer though for the tabulation.
And that's fine, we're gonna be, we have redundancies in place. We have redundancies in place.
What do you say?
Yeah, that makes sense.
Did you say?
We have a spreadsheet that I put together that automatically calculates the percentages of
Ma'am.
water.
Ma'am.
Before we, hold on a second, before
You
we
can just cross-check.
hand out ballots.
One meeting, please, one meeting.
Are there any proxies that need to be turned in exchange for ballots?
Yes.
Okay. Yeah, let's do that first.
Can we do that in front of the video camera
Yeah.
back here?
yeah, that's on.
Yeah, we can come back there and do
Right.
it.
I don't know, raised hands, and I'm not sure who guys want.
I thought Dave was gonna be able
Oh,
to.
that's all right. Somebody about to, who volunteered?
Yeah.
Here.
You're gonna do it then?
Here, I'll get you a chair.
Appreciate that. Yeah. John.
All right, let's do this first, let's do the proxies. John, you have the ballots? All right. Let me grab this paper.
Yeah, I got it. You can just read
Stay in motion. Moss is unacceptable.
Correct.
passed, right? 3.6802. But she elected not to go to college. And she goes to work for 302. She moved up to certain level and said you can't.
I don't know, I didn't.
You can write it in, they can write it, that's, yeah.
Did he already write in?
He did.
So he did, so
He
he's
did,
made his selection.
but we can still attach it and we can just write on there, proxy, that's no problem.
Okay, maybe that's what I'm gonna do. Steve Lloyd is right here. He's a current board member, so you can use that.
353.
Do I need to sign anything?
Executive, 3.4264.
You don't need to, don't worry about filling it in. We're just gonna say
The unit owner has already made selections, right, just gonna transfer the files.
Correct. And we're gonna stable it to it, but we're not going to, I'm not gonna have her write it in. I'm simply writing down percentage of ownership, just so we've got it on there. Because it's not on
They
there.
give a place for her to check off who she wants to support or write somebody in, but nowhere does it ask for her information.
I looked at that, yes.
3.6802.
You could stuff the ballot box with this. I mean, I could print out 100 of these and put my name on it and win.
That observation has been made, so it might be changed.
Wow.
Oh, no, I think we have to put in saying,
No, because they're gonna take it out of the envelope, it's gonna go into a stack.
Crystal's here.
Crystal's here.
She's not, she's letting you vote.
Well,
Not
let's
me.
give this to
You're
her.
a master.
She's running herself.
I
We just want to make sure that it was counted in case she
A lot of that
couldn't.
stuff.
Wow.
Put that in the mail.
Values things that were in the ballots.
so now we have to come here again.
We're not
No,
actually.
Steve just said they're gonna
transferring
revisit it,
that. We're
and
gonna send it
I'll be
to
calling
the
the
ballot itself.
president of their association and voicing our concern.
Okay, let me know.
Yeah.
Okay.
And give this to Crystal.
Crystal can come.
Crystal, can you come out and get a ballot?
My bad.
Yes.
I just,
Proxy, chosen ballot.
Well, but,
But I'm going to give her.
oh, you're giving her that.
Yeah, go ahead and give her.
Yeah.
today was his day.
Which one? What's the?
Sunday was the Marine Corps birthday.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Inside.
3.6, I think it's state park bank. Spent 40 years right together.
I was thinking Friday.
I might take it after.
Yeah.
Okay.
She is aware that
I got guys like that all over.
Yeah.
I'm just making sure that we're, so you're
There may
gonna,
be another one.
you're going to permit the proxies to be voted. You don't want a ballot. Is this a valid vote? This is a valid vote, yes.
Where's my proxy?
I invalidated it.
Oh, you did?
Because you already used that.
You vote using that.
But there are a few problems with that ballot.
Yeah, with that, you're gonna vote?
Oh,
There are also
My proxy is fine.
It's exactly what I disagree.
I'm just wondering, how much it is, you want to use your proxy to
So
vote?
I think he could, I just
One guy said something.
You just need to.
They're both gonna be exact.
As long as it's a valid vote, it's
Why is this up with her? Why don't we standardize on ballots?
Twice you need a ballot.
Yeah, thank you.
Somebody has a.
Yeah, I need a ballot. I'm just saying, why doesn't everybody get a ballot?
We're not there
I'm
yet.
standing right
Right
on my
now,
shoulder like
just
this,
listen
right?
for a
Don't
minute.
stand behind me.
Right now, we have people who are submitting proxies. They can either vote by proxy or they can vote in person.
Right.
What is being asked of them is, are you choosing to vote in person or by proxy? They are here, they can choose to vote vote. If they choose to vote in person, then I will take the proxy and ballot and give them a ballot. So that is all that's being done. Okay, done. Move on next. Okay, Janice, are you choosing to vote yes with your proxy? Thank you very much. What is the
Is that okay if you do that?
I'm going to give you this.
No, I'm right here.
But I was like,
That's what, we can both fit in here.
Movie
Not
stars
that bad, we can
coming
both squeeze in here.
campaign for her. Oh, yeah, Oprah got $1 million for that.
Melbourne, 345. They're inside.
No, very good. I didn't know.
you're so good.
I mean, I would have said I was 3.4 if she paid $2 million to endorse.
Get a hold of it.
Didn't have something?
I had no idea.
Let me go over here.
She has a, she's $1 million.
458.
She's $20 million
Dated
in the hole
for
because of paying all those movie stars for all of that justice. I mean, who cares what they think anyway?
That's true. What, you know,
They're
some
not
people,
gonna convince me how I'm going to.
that's me, but, you know, some people, they have a lot of interest.
No, we will hand the ballots out in a moment.
Dana Vaca.
I
Address
got that one, 478,
Mhm.
3.6802.
I just don't like people standing over my shoulder and stuff like that. I don't like that. I don't appreciate that.
333 something.
Goodbye. 3.6802.
And this one is being given to Janice, so I'm gonna hand this one to her.
Okay.
When you return it, I'm just gonna hand it to you. Because you
Souvenir.
My first meeting here in
3.2.
You're staying.
Janice, this one is also.
Until I get it empty.
Are you the guys, you guys called,
Not yet, no.
Hold on, yeah, that goes down. This one, hold on, so that one's for Crystal. Crystal, Janice, this one.
I do want to sell it, but it was too big.
This one.
I have so much stuff on it. I did pretty well in the summer, but it was
Hold on to that. Crystal, you have one more here.
I'm going soon.
I'll help you.
Oh, yeah, based on the weather turning right now.
Yeah.
So I'll put it here. Are there any other proxies? Yes.
We're in line here. Okay, this is for Laura.
We drove, we stayed at Sawgrass.
Oh, yeah?
My wife liked it so much, she said, let's take mini vacation. Sawgrass. And I don't know, I spent $500 to take her. Just go to 3 days. Every day, red flags were up. You couldn't go in the water, but it was beautiful. The Marriott's got affiliation with Beach Club. Yeah, rooftop, dusk.
We have one of those where it was No, I'm not ready to that's just north.
Are there any other proxies? Let me, I'm gonna give you these back then. I'm going to give them this back. Because I didn't sleep there.
Yeah, nobody
As long as they have passed their votes as they reflected on the box, then you do not need to make
If they did the vote, yeah.
Beautiful park.
It is. I just, you know, I knew it was out there someplace. I said, well, as long as I'm not here.
remain consistent.
And unit?
472, I have one. We're on 3.68. Down with your daughter. That's for something. cheated around. Now you're under my age. She was carrying her kid in a parking spot when she did
See, I remember.
Hey, sign and sign.
And that happened in the spring.
Yes, and this is how we should. This is how we should.
We need to void it. This is impossible. No, you don't tell us what to do at this point. You're the vendor.
Hold on, listen.
No, you cannot. That's
Listen to me.
right.
If he can void it, listen, when it will be voided, if he can come over in person, I see on the website.
Let's go with 474.
I'll just see, but that's
No
what
worries, no
happens.
worries. 3.42.
Price, hold on.
They just go in there with the weed.
Yes.
It won't next year.
Yes, yes.
Are there any other documents?
Were they?
Are there any other proxy ballots?
Any other proxies that have not been traded for a ballot stapled to the front? All right, if everyone can come in a single file line, so I can make sure that you get a ballot, please.
What do they need to do?
Well, we have to read.
I need a
West Virginia Drive. Oh, I'm sorry. I didn't get the process. 3.4264.
No, it's, my dad.
You've actually annexed you to Elizabeth Park, Dave.
I live with my parents.
Thanks, Seth Stevenson, 325.
Yes.
Yes, 3.4264.
No.
Thank you much. Hi, Tony Muno, 343.
I believe, yes, she is. Yeah. Tony, I'm sorry, 3.4264.
Mike O'Neill, 323.
I got it right. 3.4264.
I'm in any.
That didn't work so well last Tuesday.
3.42.
What's the address?
355.
Perfect, thank you.
You ever see the?
You'll get your ballot. Because you're here.
Merci beaucoup.
Yeah, you're gonna get mine.
I'm with Wexford. Our
Address?
321 South. There's like two buildings.
Yeah.
We're the
Got it.
just like the.
That was it?
If that were the case, this would be a lot quicker process.
That's what I was told.
And what are big no?
You too.
You can sit down and take your vote and then please.
How many people we can do?
Three.
I'll make an announcement. So everyone's aware.
These would be more for we have ever had. 3.6802.
Right.
Dorothy Lloyd.
Oh.
Next, 347.
3.68.
Gorski, 350.
Thank you very much.
Back to business.
3.6802.
Sign in sheet from. All right, I'll get them signed in, I have it. Yes, ma'am.
Okay, put them on.
All right, hold on. one
No,
second.
not yet.
I'm just going to give you, this is your own ballot,
Yes,
correct?
ma'am.
So you don't need
she's good.
anything further, you are all.
Yes,
Step to the side.
What about
Just-
the process?
No, not
Not
yet,
yet.
we're not gonna collect them yet. And you need to, someone needs to sign in, correct?
Yes, the mom.
All right, I'll let.
Oh, you got it right there.
Sign in.
Yes.
Hang on there.
Word I was gonna use too.
Sorry.
Nervous nose.
Let me get you, you don't have a proxy, right? Just a ballot? Just a ballot? You have a. If I can get her.
Yeah, he's back.
Michael Jackson.
Yeah.
Do you have your proxy?
No,
or
just
do you have
check.
Somebody else's
Okay,
proxy?
yeah.
My husband asked.
Go on.
Same place, so it's our proxy.
Oh,
Do you want to vote using that, or did you?
Oh, okay.
Or what you think? Perfect.
oh, no.
Then you can-
Yeah.
If
All right,
you want to
this-
write something up, we're gonna.
No, feel free.
He's got it. Does everyone in here have a ballot?
A ballot.
Did Price get it out?
Not yet, that's why I'm gonna wait. He doesn't have a ballot, and he's waiting to get a.
Another proxy.
Yeah.
Merry Christmas.
I totally.
She's gonna, yeah. She's gonna vote. I'll have her turn it in when everybody else turns it in.
Okay, okay.
I'm waiting for Price to come back because I haven't given him his ballot and he's getting a proxy sign.
Side chain.
What's the other?
327.
And who signs the wife?
Wife.
I don't remember her name.
He's a legal owner.
I understand, but she's not the same person I signed it. Can you get her to come down here?
Sure. Police.
Because it says his name at the top and she signed it, so.
We can give her a ballot if she wants.
Well, I might, yeah, I mean, that's up to her.
Prices.
Dave, you have your ballot?
Yeah. Yeah, I believe everyone has a ballot, correct?
And then-
You want a chair?
Just in case.
You okay, buddy?
Yeah.
Playing soccer, You got the soccer, between that soccer league?
We're waiting on one more Price.
President came and said, this will be the master.
Yeah, you guys can do whatever you want.
It's gone out of state for several meetings.
Yeah.
You know, I was.
Now, this year,
I can say,
With Nebraska, we'll talk to my dog started barking.
so he ended up relocating.
size wife down.
Position as assistant athletic director at Pittsburgh State in Pittsburgh, Kansas. Yeah, I never heard of it. Where he graduated.
I got a ballot, I got a.
AD. 8,000 students, we're ranked 5th or 6th in the nation.
I became
36 or He said it's funny because other than the language,
You're right.
Exactly.
All right. Three places at once. That's even worse, right?
big night out of the town.
That's the only difference, we just need her up.
I'm both set for trial and then 30 minutes of each other.
Seriously?
I don't know.
How is that gonna happen?
I can't finish one trial. I mean, same guys want to do it. And I'm one person and he's one person, so.
That's the problem. I can't even, I would have to think at all. I was gonna say, especially the daily center.
So where's the ballot?
It's gonna be right here in front of everybody.
So we're gonna do instruction. I don't know. I drove downtown.
We're closing the voice next week.
Have we always kept it going?
So we're off for Perth right now.
No, what happens is, so if you track the percentage.
I'll have to go spend my big bucks across the street.
But, you know, locked out last night, so we got all this dispute people to see. They were cutting out. I think somebody years ago, like, they're trying to reverse so they had something, whatever it was. But most people, they don't keep that secret. He was the board president. A few years later, we won't hear it.
I don't want to start on 10.
At some point, it was self-managed. Christina, was telling me she had to go around and collect the pigs. And of course, some people wouldn't pay.
I don't make it.
Yeah. No, she's talking to me one time. She's saying, yes, somewhere in her life.
Forgive me?
Yes. Already coming from the train.
All right, well,
We haven't done that. No, we left. She was Sunday. In the hospital. She was an irresistible force. The one thing she.
All right, everyone now has a ballot or they have a proxy. For those who have submitted a proxy and have cast their choices on their proxy, you do not need to complete the ballot. If you only have a ballot, you can choose up to 3 candidates on your actual ballot form. Please complete the information at the bottom. We already pre-printed in the percentage of ownership, so you will need your name, signature, and your address.
But proxy doesn't have this percentage.
That's why I have stapled it to it and written it at the bottom.
This line to the right here, what's the intent of this?
Proxy, because you're here.
That was only in the
But she
event that
said
there was a write-in.
The write-ins they got listed down here. Okay, got it. So they didn't need one. Got it.
We still
We'll still vote, yeah.
Yeah.
Just have a single file?
Yeah, and then as you complete your ballots and are ready to cast them, please make a single file line at the end and we will collect them.
So we just pass them right there.
We need to check them in, so.
Do you just check them? You just check them?
Just make a check. And then we'll give them to them, they can ballot.
Correct, yeah.
You get to go on now.
I'm just verifying the. Okay, got Got it.
No, actually, I
I see you with your little girls and your.
Oh, yeah.
My wife's right
Oh, yeah.
That wasn't me.
That's all right. My wife. I think we can wait a little bit.
Right, maybe next year.
476.
Right?
By proxy. Just one for House is also by proxy. And once I have them all, I'm gonna hand them out, hand them to you guys to double check.
Sure, proxy. Got it.
452.
Robert's got it.
3.6802 by proxy.
Correct. Double checking if my Robert's correct.
Yes.
We had one. You know, it's nicely different.
I think there's that now. There's current.
Really nice.
My head.
Meeting is
Thank you. Was a black car.
well, we only got
So there's room for some. Oh, no, wait.
We did this IC, he did international security for University of Chicago. I don't know, he's like way further along.
Was it classwork or did you do these?
It's just doctor, so it's not a doctor.
So it's a couple years?
Of course.
Just one.
So it's a 3-year program.
And the benefits.
On international security and technology.
They were using.
Oh, right, yes.
Well, it was.
And we had a lot of
Oh, my goodness.
Yeah, we did that too.
One time, grandparents, I knew your brothers, one state army,
So,
here. They all lived in Bridgeport with my park and
I told you I was so
so that's the outside.
But they said that they're not gonna get started.
That's an Irish, that's back in the day. One person comes with an Irish. No
Because of
I was home for college, Thanksgiving vacation. Price.
well,
Just verify.
No, you're fine.
The upshot was.
we're just trying to any place.
They had to put it in.
Except Minneapolis.
You could buy it.
We're talking about moving back.
So they had to, this goes into the floor. Oh, yeah, oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. You start again.
Yeah. Which one's which?
Pay attention.
So I went, they were gonna work out.
How they go in where and
Can I take one?
Yeah, you would be good. I just don't want to, oh, done by
Right, I would have been too.
So I didn't want to, I wanted to preserve. Sure.
Not the ballot with the unit
And so
So Naira?
Oh, did she? Yeah, okay. I don't think there's any difference. No, you can double check. Yeah.
I've got rules on this sitting here I mean, this is where I'm asking. So we go here, and there's a brick. And so we choose to go straight down the hallway. Because we don't want to, we don't want to flow in out of the I've heard about how,
Well, it's
you know,
not,
if
it's
you have
like,
fans
it's
in your
texture.
room.
Very fluffy.
Yeah. We have going that way. Well, we only turn on, so half an hour before.
Yeah, great.
Sometimes we'll do it.
What, in the summer?
Everybody turned in their ballots or proxies?
Not proxies.
What she makes it call that check.
Well, and you're running your, we didn't want.
Here's a big after a while, that
Is by proxy.
you didn't try to
Crystal?
no one knows that. But because of that texture, which I think is a perfect pancake. Because if it gets fluffy, all of a sudden you get a mouthful of cotton. Then you like it.
My dad's proxy.
I don't like the favorite survey.
In the end, it was, because then my mother, the electrician, came in and did all the electrical. And he left it on the outside of the house. And where they put the junction boxes, right? And that was there in the morning. Which is actually important. So, in I am the opening of the season, I was trying to put in, I had to get all that.
That's great. Oh, that's really good. I feel like I'll send you a note. I got to come No, that's not.
Can you get that marked by proxy?
I'd rather spend that any tenure thinking this.
Yeah.
Okay, first year.
Yeah. That's perfect.
Why didn't you tell me?
That's encouraging.
I think the blueberry banana. Blueberry banana. It makes it It's a little bit less.
We went through it.
No, it's fine.
your balcony, on your garage. Oh, you can. Balcony.
Raising $1 million.
My brother is. She paid everyone. You know, I'm that.
That's not how.
I did not know that.
Because Manny has too many vehicles in the garage.
Yes.
Have you seen their garage? That child is deprived.
Yes. PCIS. They were reporting it. Not enough cars.
Yes. And then she can tell her him from
That's why I asked her.
I'm not my favorite, but you're going to be in my favorite.
Next year, you go to town.
Shuffleboard tournament. Bill wants me to go.
coming from their party. I was telling you when you were here, I was telling you years ago, when I was president for finance, and every month, we would have a party with one of the board members, and invite the neighbors over, meetings over. So we get to go to the meeting, you would be like, the other side of me, and get to meet your neighbors. Huh? At our house, yes, our house. They'll have party house, party house.
Actually, you know, it's upstairs and on the lawn, it doesn't really go. I said, oh my God, it smells so good here all the time. It smells so good. You smell so good, you know, it's like, yes, all the time. No, I'm a cook, you know, I'm a cook. And I should say, you know, next time I should get extra and I give it to you to keep house, you know?
Mind your own business.
Was he drafted? Oh, they have plans for it, Same thing down on I-55. Bridge, Arsenal.
Yes, then we go on to the next.
Just right up there.
Must be.
Same thing, 10 people, 3 stories high, the whole section.
I'd encourage it. See, it doesn't deliver. No, it doesn't. Oh, Bill, let me talk to you about my friend. So he's in Mexico, Santa Mexico. So I'll probably see him this week, we bicycle together. Okay, so I'll see him this weekend, and I'm gonna talk to him about what you asked. Okay, and then I'll let you know what he has to say. All that I know is that he's a lab manager. That's his job. So I don't know much about beyond his job. But I remember he was a lab manager, that's why I sent your resume. Okay. I don't know how high up he is.
That's what I mean. Huge USB set up with the mouse.
So I know a guy who works at Northwestern University, the lab manager, just the bicycle. So I gave him her resume. Let's see if we can help her something. But if you die of some kind of black plague, she'll be a little tested.
Having base works pretty good,
Maryland's girl at Irvine, so that's my nephew and my
Every time he starts crying, he shows up. And wants to see what's going on.
Somehow they got it. They stole my boy, but I make her roll with our president.
Hey, run the faucet. Yeah, run the faucet. Yeah, turn the faucet on. Sometimes they sit there, little boys.
Tyler, he's a accounting company, and my son is he comes in now, you know. He was working.
That's right.
You're right, totally. Remember, no longer has daughters.
He's a pharmacist.
That's right.
It's over 9. His wife's not here.
Really like.
Assuming he gets elected, we're going to shift the meetings to town meetings. Availability.
Maryland doesn't Maryland's like, I don't know.
The world better watch out.
I don't know.
It's really not that big.
So you gotta come around.
And then he doesn't like get right.
Common sense dictates.
My dad, he showed me like, you're
I wrote it. They probably advised me.
We're a shopping center. 2 weeks after we get off.
I'm thinking about going to stock car racing. I gotta fix my cars ready to drive. Good, I can think of a big mess right in front of your house. I got all my gay bikers. Yeah, we're gonna hang out, drink whiskey, and drive. So, the guy, you're thinking the guy that, I think all of your house, Sopper was the first name? Terry Sopper. So he gutted. That's the Anna Pan was his wife. He gutted her house. He gutted it. And replaced like all the electrical and lighting. Has there been work in there?
Yeah.
Because he was one of these, okay? Appliance and everything.
The party bus. We had to take my dad. I know, we called.
You're loaded. You're loaded.
Yeah. We'll take everybody.
Just remember, March 17th is my birthday and Randy's birthday. On St. Patrick's Day. St. Patrick's Day. So you better get in your order. That's way too early.
One more time.
Her sons are playboys, Rich, just you think it's grandkids out of one of these, right? You're guessing grandkids out of one of these, right? Oh, you squeeze out there? Really? Probably have some
I think she likes it, because I took her to the car start, and she and I kicked the leaves around there. Really excited and started
Might end up like this.
They say they lose their entire funnel. My friends go it's tough.
That's right, it's the last 30 minutes.
Yeah, that's right. No.
It's kind of wet.
We're just missing two 911 meetings.
I only have one.
I'm the logistic.
That's my biggest is Vegas.
I'm sorry, I'm just, yeah, just for
How many people in your association got cells? How many? About.
Yes. Just leave it on. there.
Develop a little network.
All right, we have verified the results of the election. Election is closed, obviously,
Hold on,
and,
hold on 1 second. Does he want to turn his camera?
oh, yeah.
Just make sure.
Just let me know you're good. Cool. We have verified the election numbers, verified that it also closed and has been double checked by the proxy, or I'm sorry, not proxy, by the proctors. And in order of the amount of percentage of ownership received, the 3 board members are Cy, Crystal, and Bob.
Can we? Percentages?
Yes, I will go in order of percentage of ownership as received by vote. Cy, 85.53300%.
Oh, wow.
Crystal, 50.25380%. Bob, 49.74620. Pat, 46.57360. Price, 46.31980. So we have officially entered these into record as the official results of the election at this point, which means that our 5 board members are Cy, Crystal, Bob, Janice, and Dorothy.
Congratulations.
All of these will be maintained at Red Brick, which are available to any homeowner to come in and see at any time. We will also make sure that the tally sheets, as well as the actual proxies and ballots, are verified and ready for you as well. That being said, we can close the election at this point, and as of this point, we can also vote to move to close adjourn from the annual meeting, and then go into the regular board meeting at this point. Tony?
moved.
Do we
Second.
yes, we want to thank Pat for his years of service.
Yes.
And all that he's done to build the community. We want to thank Tony for all that he's done in the short 2 years that he has served, but he has contributed greatly. And we really appreciate both of them and are grateful for their help on so many
I'm gonna let
issues.
you be without the
Who
same thing.
who made the motion to adjourn? I know I
I
heard.
think
am.
Pat did.
Pat, my last official
Pat, and then who seconded it?
I'll second it if you have.
Just because I'm writing on the side.
Okay, everybody agrees? Yes.
None opposed?
So,
Thank you. Appreciate it. I'll get out of here.
so Bob, would you join us
Bob,
at the table?
Sure, but I think we should wait till Cy gets here too before any business is conducted.
We can have
Is he
forum without
coming?
him.
They say he's
Oh, if he's coming, then we
He's
can.
coming, isn't he?
Well, let's,
No big deal.
It doesn't matter, he can
We're
still.
gonna till 9.
He'll still be warm.
You're still in quorum, so it doesn't matter.
He'll be able to join in.
Oh, when you get, yeah.
Yeah, well, we can start with quorum as well.
Join the team.
Oh, here, let me get off.
a little longer and then we're out of here.
Pizza Sunday about 3 times.
4 pack.
So we have a quorum and we should begin.
Yeah, we'll call to order.
You guys can call it order.
And then we need to
We need to
elect officers.
Correct.
Yes. So, all right. Anybody want to nominate anybody to start off?
Well, I nominate you to stay president, I'd like to say that, right?
Oh, yes. Would you like to nominate me and
Yes.
somebody second? And
Is
let's
that an
agree?
official nomination?
Yes, I nominate Dorothy Lloyd to be the president of the board.
And all in favor?
Aye.
Okay.
Yeah.
And we need, Janice has been the treasurer, and I would nominate her that she continue to do that position. The second,
Second for Janice to stay the treasurer.
and everybody in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
And Bob, you get to be the lucky one and be the secretary, and I know you have skills in that area. So I would nominate Bob to be our secretary. No rush, no rush. So, all in favor of Bob as secretary?
I'll second.
Second, yeah, we need a
Yeah,
second.
okay, all in favor?
Aye.
All right, very good. So there we are.
So we-
The director at large,
Yeah,
he's the
Crystal.
director, yeah.
Correct.
That's all we have left.
An at-large.
Okay.
Just a board member at large.
Correct,
Oh, okay.
director, yeah, board member.
So do you want to follow with the agenda at this
Sure
point?
thing, absolutely. We have established quorum. The first thing on the agenda is to approve the minutes from last meeting, September 9th, 2024. You got it, you got it.
Okay.
So yeah, just need a motion to approve the minutes from last meeting, September 9th.
I think we've,
As they are, if there are not any changes.
okay, I'll address this later. I make a motion that we accept the minutes from this September 9th meeting.
And second?
I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Okay.
Any opposed? Okay. The treasurer's report.
Okay, on the treasurer's report, the only thing that is a problem is we still have not got the funds into the reserves.
The transfer was.
Oh, it was made?
It is in progress.
It is in
does take
progress.
a week or so for the banks to
Okay.
obviously do
Okay,
that.
so that's been taken care of?
Correct.
Okay.
That was
Then
done
this
last
is
month.
as of 9:30, which is accurate. The
It
next
will,
one will show the transfer.
it may show on the October, it also may show on the November, depending on when the balances are available at the actual bank. So
Okay.
by the year end, you will have the correct amounts from the transfer tuck pointing over from the operating to the reserves.
Okay. So someone want to make a motion to accept the financial report?
I make a motion to accept the financial report for 9/30/2024.
And a second?
Second.
Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Okay. Anybody opposed? No?
Well, I think I should abstain because I haven't had a chance to look at it and I've been a part of it.
Sure.
That
Makes
sounds
sense.
fun,
Yeah.
Okay,
Okay. Moving right along.
and then the next is the manager's report.
Manager's report, we've done quite a lot, obviously. Most work that has been done lately has been on the 2025 budget. I believe we are 100% there, which means we will be nailing tomorrow at this point. However, I will have to speak with the new board in order to make sure, which is why we wait. That being said, the other things that have been currently done, or done since the past meeting, obviously the seal coating, as you know, which went smoothly. The landscaping, which has its own agenda item, we will speak to when we get there, and obviously not happy about that. I've met a couple vendors for the concrete repairs, which we will speak about later as well. And the annual meeting, which obviously was just prepped, as you just saw, for all this. So been quite a haul to finish up this year to make sure we got everything in, and looks like we're gonna be good. And then just want to announce that because that budget will be going on more than likely tomorrow, we will be probably doing a Zoom meeting in order to adopt the budget 30 days after we have made it, in order to maintain the notice requirements for that being said. We have that note, we'll send out a separate notice for that Zoom meeting for everybody to join, who is welcome. The only thing that will be on that meeting agenda will be the budget, or budget adoption. That being said, when you all receive the budget, you'll have a big long sheet on there that says if you have any questions, here are the 5 ways that you can reach me or the board or anything like that. And in those 30 days, that's your time to ask those questions. I'll answer anything as best as I can and go through any line of thinking in order to make sure that once we get to that Zoom meeting, it is done smooth, and if there are any necessary changes, they are made at that point. Other than that, I believe that's good for manager's report.
Okay.
Into old business. old business is the,
Where's,
that's the updated road painting proposal. Yes. The change order was made during, in order to do that, there was a price change to do the coal tar rather than single coat, which does last longer and also takes into the weather.
And has a warranty.
And has a warranty as well, which I have actually gone through, checked off, and we're all good. I did all the warranty paperwork and all that lovely stuff too. So we're all covered on the warranty at Rose. The only thing we need to do is go ahead and ratify the change on there for a total of $15,200.
Okay, I make a motion that we ratify the $15,130 for the black, for the seal coating. A second. Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Thank you very much. That is all I have for old business. For new business, the planting, trimming, and landscaping update is going to be a little long-winded, I apologize. Firstly, the new planting is all done. I think it looks great, that's my personal opinion. And that was approved at last meeting.
He's checking, how old are you?
The trimming is still in progress because there's still 2 addresses that they continue to miss. This is now the 4th time we're going to have to come out and do it correctly. I am not stopping until.
Can we we can't hear because of the background noise. Can we please talk outside or something?
Thank you.
Thank you.
Because there are 2 addresses that continue to be missed.
Could you tell us those addresses?
I don't have them off the top of here, but I can.
I did both for you. You did both for your Griffiths.
If you tell me their names, I can tell you the address.
For you too.
I got it right here. Give me a second. Maybe 17 to 12. I'll have to double check on the second. I think it's the one right next to it, actually.
Can we give Janice that information later?
Sure.
Yeah, that's fine.
Yeah, and like I said, it's still pending, so it needs to be done either way. Again, I will continue to bother them on a regular basis. I've been going through our account rep's head at this point, and that seems to be getting a lot more and quicker answers rather than going through our account rep, who I am not personally happy with. That being said, this is gonna get done at some point, and I'm gonna continue to fight until it is done. It's ridiculous that it's taken 4 trips to even do simple trimming, but unfortunately, that's the reality of the crew that has been going, as most of the owners can probably agree to their lack of service throughout the entire season this time. That being said, just a note to the owners, the board, the previous board, and I also walked through twice in the middle of the landscaping season in order to point out all the things that were not being done. And again, as I said, because it happened twice, we walked through first, some things got done, some things still remained not done, so we had them out again. Which again, seems frivolous and unnecessary, but the unfortunate reality is, I think we got a bad crew here. That being said, I am going to suggest as management that we look elsewhere for, not for another crew, for another vendor for the spring landscaping, as the contract is up on the 15th of this month. Obviously, that's something we can obviously look through during the winter months. I can get quotes and all those things, and we'll put that on there. But again, I'm going to just, as management, make sure that my opinion is out there. Don't like it, I think we should get a new landscaper.
So every time you try to shelve and fix it, they still look like they're missing.
Well, they'll fix some of it, but not all of it. And they're whittling down the pie, but the point is, we're 5 days from the landscaping season being over, and there's still things that need to be done. That's,
They not the same people who shovel, right?
No.
no, they're not. So again, that's just my personal recommendation as management, take that out if you will, we have plenty of time to get that done last year.
I have a question too. ComEd was supposed to come and do.
They also were, that was coming through, the tower also, correct?
Yes.
So there's gonna be some coordination between them.
The seafood impact.
My experience personally with ComEd is that it's gonna be months before they even set foot on the grounds to even take a look at it, because ComEd is just that responsive. So I don't think it's gonna be done,
And then if you would have got in, Bob would.
you know, by winter time at least.
There's gotta be
I would-
something else with this.
Really hope it'd be by spring, but again,
That hurts you.
it's common.
Could they maybe go into?
No, I'm saying.
I guess at this point,
Can we?
can you ask you to step out if you're gonna be
Gentlemen. Gentlemen,
I'm sorry, we just found out that Dawn Marone's proxy and ballot wasn't taken into account.
she wasn't
She
here.
wasn't here.
I brought it, she gave it to me, I delivered it.
Your proctors agreed, so we're gonna move on.
What, you're gonna what?
Your proctors confirmed that they did not count one for her.
So
And we know that, we know that, it just poof, it disappeared. I handed it to you and it didn't make it into
All right,
the
we're gonna
chain.
continue the board meeting at this
Okay.
point.
Okay, we're just saying.
You can review your film and figure that out.
So again, that's my recommendation on that. Again, ComEd is gonna do what ComEd does because they have no competition. I will regularly bother them, however, they have a real long call service center line that you need to go through to speak to a human. But again, I'm the type of person who's going to bother them until something happens. So I'll keep on that and we'll also keep in touch with the tower here to make sure that it's also coordinated correctly. The roof and stairs concrete repair, we are going to pass over until next year. However, as was discussed, in order to get the budget in there, in the budget, we have budgeted for the roof that needs to be on there. We do have 2 quotes that are still sitting who will have confirmed that they will stick with their 2024 prices in order to maintain as it goes on, even though it will be 2025. We'll keep those. We'll continue to get at least 1 more, which again, will not be at least until January. However, that being said, I do have 2 quotes for the individual stair repair on units. All right.
333 needed some repair.
That could be it, actually.
Rings a bell with you.
But it was just the. It's 311, actually.
311.
Yeah.
No, what's next one? Isn't it 333?
Yes, it is.
Yeah, I imported that quite some time ago, and one of their stairs is crumbling.
Yeah, this is a different one. So that one I have not worked on. This is for the gaps in this, in the stairs.
Yeah.
Yeah. I can see if we can get that included in the ones that we're getting. I expect that to be done. Hopefully, if we can really push it, we might be able to get it done this year. Weather permitting, I'm not guaranteeing anything, but I'm gonna attempt to do everything I can to make sure that we get that.
But I think
as
we
soon as
imported
possible.
it like in July.
Oh, yes, unfortunately, and that was,
We've had a lot of transition in property management, and John came on about, was it August? Was it a little earlier than that?
Mid-July.
So he's been really catching up and getting up to speed, and we had a lot of things hanging out there in Never Never Land, waiting for them to happen. So we appreciate John a lot for what he's done. And the coming year, we look forward to a more smooth year of getting things done and getting them done on time.
Correct. And obviously with previous managers, that was not the case. I'll be the first to admit that. However, I'm not previous management, and I'm just going to take this in mind.
Thank you. Thank you, we appreciate it.
Again, those 2 bids are current and will stay current. I'm going to push as hard as I can for those stairs. I'll join in that 333 as well on there to see if we can get that. I can't imagine they would also also want the business. So I'll do that. Once I get all of those, I'll make sure you get copies of that as well. And then we can make a decision if necessary, fingers crossed, for the budget meeting or prior, depending, we can call special if it's worth it, and we can get there. But I just want to make sure that the homeowners know, and that the homeowners who are affected by that know that not only are we taking care of it, but we're also in the process of hopefully getting it done.
Okay.
That being said, is there anything else that needs to be added to new business at this point?
Do we establish the dates of our meetings right now, or do we establish them later?
We can,
Or should we?
I mean, that's really up to you. We can do it now, we can do it at the budget meeting, whichever you like.
That's okay with me, if we wait until then.
To do that,
Yes.
Yeah, because I would imagine we want to have the SI as well involved in that decision.
Okay.
So,
Do we have a date for the budget meeting?
no, it'll be 30 days, and we'll approve it with the board before that goes out,
Okay.
but it'll be at least 30 days before the mailing, which again should be tomorrow.
Okay.
All right,
30 days after the meeting.
after mailing, so after post dating, which will be tomorrow. Anything else for new business? Okay, homeowner forum. Is there anybody who would like to take a couple minutes only, in order to ask any questions of the board?
My trees are all over my sidewalk. Will they be out to do it this season, or,
We covered that during the landscaping.
right?
I am angrily on them.
We're at the place where it might be snowing soon, and then
That was my point that I also.
right, we passed the point of me, should I just go out there and trim them?
I mean, it's up to you at this point. They still are contracted to do it. Again, whether or not that happens is not in my hands. However, I'm going to keep hammering them over the head until they do it. If you'd like to, please feel free.
No, I don't want to, but,
But again, it'll get done one way or the other.
well, what happens with evergreens is that if you cut too much of it off, then it leaves them looking like garbage,
Not
and
only are you
so.
correct, but thankfully we have a contract as well, to where, since they stated it would be done by the end of the season, they'll be in breach, and I'll hold them to replacing those bushes.
Great,
I have no love lost for these guys or this crew. So
That's
as far
fine.
as I'm concerned, if that were to happen, I'll get you new damn bushes.
okay, thank you.
What day were they supposed to come? Some
They
days
were
it
here
seemed like
last
it was like-
Monday,
No,
and
it seemed
then
like it was like on a Wednesday, sometimes they.
it was supposed to be, yes, and then 2 weeks ago, the rain threw them off.
Okay.
However, then last week, they were supposed to be here on a Tuesday and did not show up, which was, again, another reason I'm boiling at them. So I flat out called the owner at that point.
Yeah.
I'm just so fed up with this crew that's why I personally, as management, recommend that we go in a different direction next year.
Like when you call the owner, does it seem like he's trying to do?
Oh, big time.
Because sometimes
He's
it can be
embarrassed.
the crew, sometimes it can be the workers, you
It's,
know?
it's no doubt, it's the account manager and the crew. I think the crew is not being supervised correctly, and they're just
Yeah,
showing up whenever they
sometimes
feel
it's
like
like-
it. So as, and I can divulge this without, because again, I don't really care. They're gonna be GPS monitoring their crews starting next year. So, it doesn't help us this year, but as far as I'm concerned, they burned that bridge. And obviously the decision is up to the board, but my decisions, or my position remains the same. I don't think we should retain it for next year.
I don't think anybody does.
I think the homeowners are pretty good as well. Any other homeowner questions? Correct.
I asked about the trim on my kitchen door. I've heard nothing. I was told that Red Brick would come and look at it.
Oh, yes. I talked to Kevin today about that, actually. He's supposed to call you either today or tomorrow.
Who?
Kevin from Birchwood Maintenance. If he has not, and he has not called you tomorrow, call me Wednesday, and I'll follow up and make sure he does. Because I did speak with him today.
Today?
Yes, and
That
he
was-
said he's
You know
gonna
how
reach out
long
to you.
ago that was?
I can't speak for vendors, unfortunately.
Well, I did it at this meeting.
I understand that. But again,
So, okay, and Crystal was kind enough to report that the landscapers pulled out all the bulbs for my lilies at the mailbox.
correct.
Correct. Nobody's called me. I know, she did tell me
Were those the
tonight
ones that were
that she
placed in the-
reported it.
No, they were replaced.
This
It's
is,
an empty,
this is
still
the
an
first
empty
I've heard
box.
about that.
Oh, okay. Because if this is,
So they've killed the ones on my patio, now they've pulled out all my
oh, this is
beautiful
on
lilies.
top of that as well.
Yeah, I
I
mean,
will add
this
that
is two
to my
events
list.
now.
I will add that and make sure that they are aware as well.
Aware of it? Well, they're already gone.
I can't, oh, I mean, they're still under contract either way, so for things that they did, they still will be held responsible for what they did under contract. However,
I think part of this is what.
What she was saying, she
First of all,
wanted it,
there was-
I guess what her question was when she was talking to me is, because it's just empty now, they pulled it all out. So her thing is now, let's put something new.
correct, that's what I'm gonna ask you.
Yes.
I can't.
You know what, at this point, our board has no money, they don't need to be spending money on my flower
This
bed.
wouldn't be for anybody.
I really enjoy my flowers, and I'm just sick and tired of them just, I mean, nobody has ever bothered them before.
Yeah.
And now this year, I've had two major problems.
I completely agree with you.
Well,
Again,
thank you for
I-
agreeing, but I'm sick and tired of agreements.
well,
You know, I'm not getting any
and-
younger.
This is one of those things that I have been talking to them about throughout the entirety of this. This is the first I'm hearing about this particular problem, which again, I will follow up with them again. I can't speak one way or the other for a vendor. However, I will say that I will fight for you in order to get those back, just like I would for anybody else for bushes or plants.
At the expense of the vendor.
Oh, yeah, no.
So don't worry about the fee being tacked onto us.
No, there
The
will be no
vendor,
cost
since they
involved.
did that, he's going after them, so they have to put the stuff down.
Well,
So we
I-
can get that pretty back for you. So just gonna be all right.
I'm
No, don't get that.
I'm just tired of it, quite
I
frankly.
understand.
And then the fellow that did my gook on the driveway, I'm upstairs looking out and they're leaving, and he gets in my flower bed in the dirt and cleans the stuff off of his shoes. By the time I got down there, he was already gone. And he just mutilated the flower bed with his shoes. I couldn't believe it. I was standing up there going, what is this?
I can follow up with them as well, because at this point, or I won't. I mean,
It's
whatever
just
you
poor
like.
management. I mean,
It's not poor management,
Oh,
because I
come on.
don't have anything to do, I'm not on site during vendors.
and I just wanted to say one thing, that I read the report about the $22,000. And the fact that half of it's going to be reinvested in our monthly,
Are you talking about the money market?
She's talking about the proposed budget that we worked on, where we took the mortgage.
the reserve money.
Oh, yes.
I'm opposed to, that money needs to go back into the reserve. We have all of these financial problems because we have no reserve. To give us a pittance back monthly is ridiculous, and then tell us we owe $7,000.
Your concern is noted. I will state that the reserves are in decent shape and that we will take that into consideration.
I hope so, because the way it read, it looked like it was pretty well set and done. And I think that's ridiculous, when we have no money in our reserve, that $11,000, I mean, I don't think there's anybody who's gonna care about.
Again, we
What's our balance on
we
our?
currently have $76,000 in the reserve account, so we're not gonna discuss anything beyond that. Your concern is noted. I will follow up with the board on how they'd like to do that.
Good, thank you.
Okay, my question regarding my daughter is,
Yeah, it's the same thing.
I
I do know, and I have been fighting specifically for you.
Yeah, because I am
For quite a
crying
bit.
every time I'm driving.
Oh, I know,
It's
and
just
what
like-
they did to yours was egregious, as far as I'm concerned. Like, if I were on the board at that, or that were my house, I would have fired them on the spot.
Yeah,
just
I'm
for doing that.
patiently waiting.
Correct, and again, I'm doing my best with the vendors, but again, vendors, they're their own, and unfortunately, they're gonna lose a large contract based on it, but that doesn't fix your, so.
I'd like to make a comment though. Nancy, I hear you, and I also hear you on anybody that's having the gardening related problems, and you know, you can't replace what you took the time to plant.
Right.
You know, because you put the blood, sweat, and tears into planting them and picking them out and all that, so, you know, just saying that somebody's gonna come and plant new flowers isn't gonna necessarily be
Yeah, and I
to
don't want
your
them
taste
to.
either.
Bob, I don't want them to.
I
Yeah.
go out them.
So there's gotta be a solution that kind of gets to you having some ability to plant new things in there, but not at your expense and not at the association's expense, so we'll have to look into that. The other thing is that I also hear you on the discussion about splitting the money that's going to be saved now because we don't have the loan. And I thought that was premature announcing that anyway, because there wasn't even a budget discussion that was going on around it. And I would echo your thoughts, and I think a lot of other people are going to echo those thoughts too. And that's going to be the purpose of us getting the budget, having time to look at it, think about it, and then respond to that at the next meeting.
I'm going to actually make another point on top of that, because you're not only are you correct, but also it's going to be approved by the new board also before it even gets mailed out. So any concerns or anything that's brought up now is going to be brought into account by the current board and will be changed before that mailing date as well.
And
it's not set in stone as of right now. So that.
Well, I hope not, because we need to put every speck of money we can into the reserve, because there's a lot of problems around here.
Yeah, I agree.
Take a look at our buildings, they're terrible. The roofs on our garages.
And that's,
I mean, I don't even know if mine's gonna hold up.
Yeah, and that's, like I said, we have 2 quotes already for that.
You have what?
We have 2 quotes already for that.
The part of the
I
problem.
think she's talking about a different, the garage roofs.
Oh, the railings?
I don't know, the garage roofs.
The roof of the garage, when you walk on it, it
Oh, the
sinks.
flat roof, I see. Yeah, that's something we'll have to speak about.
That's a different issue.
And what
Is it
about my
leaking?
railing? You know,
Is
they
it
came and
leaking?
put some nails in.
Did they reinforce the second?
No, I can lean against it. I mean, now my flag broke, so I've got to go up there.
Okay.
Otherwise, I wouldn't go up there because it's not safe.
Yeah, understood. I'll make sure that they do.
Oh, they just hammered all kinds of nails into it. It's
Correct, and they were
ridiculous.
supposed to come back and put another board on there on top of that, and so I'll follow up.
Well, it's all buckled.
Right, that was supposed to measure it out, or to straighten it out. So it's still on the list, and I'll continue to follow up.
I would make another comment too, and that is, my experience being on the board back in 2019, and I had to step down, was that I think if we don't have something objective like a reserve study that comes in and does a very objective analysis of things, who give us the opportunity to look at their assumptions and adjust them if they happen to be off. But if we have engineers and architects look at everything, we can be much more objective about what the future needs are here and what should be going on with our reserves and our HOA fee. I think we cannot operate on the basis of everybody's opinions here without having some professionals look at everything and then prioritize it for us. Because some of these things are safety issues, and safety issues, if somebody gets hurt, is going to be litigation issues that are going to cost the board stuff, especially with the exteriors of the buildings. So we need to have some objectivity, and it can't just be our opinions. So the first thing we need to do is to prioritize doing a reserve study, an updated reserve study. And I've already made a request to get an update proposal on that, and I'm going to be pushing for that as a board member. So
That should really be John's job to request.
well, I asked for it back when I was a board member, and then it was shot down doing a reserve study. So I proactively went and asked for it again from the same engineers.
Okay, so basically what I would state about reserve studies is I am incredibly for them. I think they're incredible and very, very useful tools. I recommend getting one every 3 to 5 years. If it has been as long as it has, I recommend to the board as management that you get an updated reserve study.
2018.
So I definitely, pre-COVID, yes, or 100%, I would say it's time to get a new reserve study. That's for the board to decide at this point. You discuss amongst yourselves and let me know, and I will follow up. I have 3 on speed dial that I can get, hopefully within a quote within 2 weeks. So just let me know.
Great. Thank you.
Yeah, talking about this reserve study from 2018, it's showing between 2024 and 2030, we're going to have $400,000 in repairs.
I would take that with a huge grain of salt at this point.
Have you looked at the reserve
I
study?
have, yes.
So now, hold on a second. It projects a cost increase of 2.5% per year. We know, and you know, in 2020, 21, and 22, they had over a 25% increase in material costs and construction costs. So you're gonna end up putting $20,000 a year, $10,000 now and $10,000 from the bank loan.
Well, let me stop you there, because the reserve study is a suggestion, it's not a bylaw. That being said, the board does need to decide budgetarily in order to use, how to use that reserve study. And that is why you have the board in the first place, in order to make those decisions and to make the proper decisions in order to make sure that every unit is fairly represented at this point, per what the reserve study and the experts will actually suggest, and on the timeline that they suggested as well. If that's a board decision, however, again, because it's from 2018, those are not really worth the paper that they're written on at this point, especially pre-COVID, because everything changed when COVID happened, which is why I fully suggest and recommend getting a brand new reserve study at this point before we even go into funding and what should be and what and how.
So you're suggesting they lower the the assessment and take half the...
No, I'm not suggesting anything regarding that.
Well then, this reserve study was done 8 years ago, and as you said, it's out of, you know, it's
Correct.
at 2.5%. You, no matter how you're facing this, that reserve study showed $400,000.
But again, that's not,
Well, hold on.
Bible.
Yes, hold on, but
that's
it's,
recommendation.
what, so you're just gonna ignore it? You're the smartest guy in the room? They're the smartest people?
No, it's their decision, not mine.
No, hey, it's you, without looking,
Dave,
yes,
Dave,
this is madness, that's all I can tell you.
yeah, but here's the thing is, totally agree that if you look at what the needs are in the future, they're big. But it needs to be revisited in, you know, looking at the new assumptions about inflation and cost of labor increases and cost of materials and all that. So what we really should do is disregard that 2008 study and just redo it and then start with a clean slate. And then make sure that, you know, we work with them to make sure that it's as accurate as we believe it is for their assumptions that they're making, and then make the decisions about how do we fund these things. Is it going to be through increases in the HOA fee? That's never going to take care of the reserves that are needed. So special assessments will be needed from time to time, but the other part of it is thinking about how do people pay their fair share. Because if we keep delaying these things and then people start moving, the people that left never paid their fair share.
Correct.
To replace what was getting old under their watch. So, you know, there's just there's a little bit of a balancing act, but we don't disagree with you that there's big bucks ahead, as there would be for any HOA that was built back in the 70s. So we just have to be wise about it and bear with.
Well, how about you're talking about budgeting before you got this reserve study? So you're gonna lower the assessment in face of this?
That's part of the discussion. That's why we're hearing you talk about it now.
Well, they've been talking about it for 15 years.
There's two new board members now, and, you know, we'll inject our decisions in there, and hopefully we're listening to the advice of Red Brick here, the expert who is recommending they be done every 3 years, and, you know, we'll be wise about that. So, give us a chance, okay?
Well,
We're not
you've had
disagreeing
15
with you
years.
either, that we've gotta be wise, and some things seem a little bit premature announcing without, you know, having a broader discussion with new board members and looking at a reserve study too.
Then one last thing, you're talking about the board discussing this budget. Did they discuss it without having a meeting?
We had discussions online, email. These were all emails, discussions, Dave. Red
The
Brick
board is
based,
allowed to have work sessions
we have to
without
communicate
calling
with
meetings.
each other. And Red Brick gave a suggested budget for the coming year, which happens every year. That's what they do, what the management company does. We looked at it, we made some changes to it. We will finalize the changes that this current board agrees to. It will be mailed to you. A meeting will be announced, and then it will be voted on by the board.
We'll ask your attorney, Katerina, can three board members be discussing board business without being at a board meeting?
They're not taking it, as long as they're not taking
We
action.
don't-
They're
All right.
not
No vote.
approving anything, there's
There's
no
no
votes
vote
being
being taken.
taken.
All
We're
right.
proposing.
It's not even proposing, this is just,
As long as
Working on
there's
numbers.
no
No,
board
we're
action
working
being
on
taken.
We can't wait till the last minute. I mean, we have to have something to present. How would we do it if we didn't communicate with each other?
Good questions, though. Good questions.
any others? Go ahead.
They brought back that, last year, they had that snow plow in our parking lot.
They had
The
what?
skid steer?
Yeah, they had it plugged into our house.
Oh, that's
Most of
not,
the, yeah, I reached out to Red Brick about it, and my comment bill was pretty high during winter months. And
Do
I
me
see
a
that
favor.
it's back,
no, no,
so-
do me a favor.
Yeah.
Do you still have those comment bills?
Yeah.
Send them to me.
Oh, yeah, so, I
Because
mean,
what I'll do is I'll just go straight to I'll take a picture of it
okay.
and I'll speak directly to them.
I was just trying to figure out, I'm like, why has it been plugged in?
No,
Always are.
at minimum, they
In
should
the middle
ask.
of it, I ended
Yeah,
up
I'm not
plugging
with
it
They should
because
pay for it.
of.
Or giving you some kind of credit
every month.
Yeah, I was like, things
Correct.
just sitting, like,
Yeah.
it wasn't really used either, that was my second thing now. We're getting different vendors for our snow plowing, because it kind of sucked last year.
Well, that unfortunately, because we have to assign contract for this year, we'd have to wait until next spring, or not next spring, but
Oh,
upcoming
yeah.
spring to discuss that. But it is absolutely on the table.
Okay, cool.
But again, shoot me those
I got you.
and I'll get you covered
Okay.
somehow.
And then last thing was, I was talking about our balconies. I reached out to Red Brick about my mom's balcony, about it chipping and stuff, and then actually my brother's balcony, 2 pieces of wood fell, like, in the past 2 days ago. I haven't sent about that one yet.
Oh, I was gonna say, I haven't heard.
Yeah, no,
so-
that one I have not sent yet,
Got it,
but
got it.
my other one, yeah, so I don't know if that's.
I think that's something that,
Under you guys, under HOA, isn't it?
yeah, it definitely would be, and it's definitely something that I think Bob covered pretty well in that
Yeah.
we're gonna have to go and have a long discussion about what needs to be done, about very specific things like that. And I think, yeah, no doubt, safety is obviously priority number one, especially in the litigious world that we live in. But again, it's one of those things where I think it's a good idea to get an expert out to make sure that we're doing it correctly.
Am I reassured that someone will be coming up from my garage?
I'll talk to you after, because I have,
Okay,
yeah.
thank you.
The answer is yes.
Thank you.
Just one quick, there's a trailer on the south parking lot. Does anybody know who that belongs to?
What is it? I'm
I'm
sorry.
sorry.
There's a trailer on the
Oh, a
south.
trailer, I'll take a look at that on the way out.
Yeah, because what happened, I wasn't thinking, I was walking Mango and I saw a guy, I thought he came off the golf course, but it dawned after me, after he went by, it looked like he was walking over to the tower
In the south lot?
in the south
I'll
lot.
take a look
It's a
at it.
small tower, it blew onto the golf.
That's a guest of one of our owners.
Pardon?
That trailer belongs to a guest of one of our owners who's visiting.
You know who?
Yeah, sure do, go to my next door neighbor.
Wait, and it's our units?
Alicia's father is visiting.
Oh.
Oh,
And
okay.
he must have brought stuff up to them, and he's visiting in Rochester.
Well, you know, I really would like to see, which I've done with some of my guests, if they're gonna park in the lot, take a piece of paper, put guest of 341,
I mean, just call us.
and put it in
Let us know.
the dish, yeah.
But also at the same time, regardless of whom it is, I'm still gonna enforce the rules as they're written. Just
But if
throwing
it's
that
a
out there.
guest- But if it's a guest, why can't they park there? Oh, because it's.
Well, I'm not saying it.
Yeah, it's a smaller trailer, it blew on, believe it or not, in that windstorm, it blew onto the golf course.
That's not what I wanna hear.
Really?
Understood, yeah. Like I said, I'll take a look at it and I'll take the proper action at that point.
In the past, we've allowed people to park temporarily.
Yeah.
Yeah, again,
But
we're
very
gonna go by the rules,
simple.
correct?
Pardon?
He hasn't been here this long.
Right, he's been here a few days,
He's up, I mean, maybe a week and a half.
Yeah.
He's been here.
but we've allowed a boat to be parked, we've allowed a van, a work van to be parked. So we
Yeah,
just,
we'll just follow
we just
up.
need to verify that it's not gonna be parked there very long.
John, you just made the comment that you're going to enforce the rules, which I'm glad to hear. When are we going to start enforcing the rules for the violations that have been in place for months, if not years?
Already have.
Okay.
I just want to ask one more thing. Could you give me the ruling where I have to replace my concrete garage floor?
I'm still actually looking into that, don't.
Well, I wish, it's been 4 years.
I
and It's
understand
getting
that,
worse.
but I have not been here for 4 years.
I know you haven't, but it's been quite a long time, and I just need to know, it's getting worse.
So that being said, our council
I
is
will
going to
follow
provide
up.
an
I've
opinion.
provided an opinion on that in the past, so I will
Thank you
follow
very
up.
much, I
That
appreciate
I
it.
was unaware
The
of. and I
garage
appreciate it.
foundation, correct?
Correct.
The garage foundation.
The
It's
gra-
the floor, yes.
What is it, the floor?
I guess that's the foundation,
Foundation,
but
the
it's the
garage, yeah.
Yeah, I was unaware of that, and I appreciate that, and I'll send that over to you.
By the way, if you look at the survey, it says the unit is from the top of the floor, the garage floor, to the ceiling.
Correct. And
So
I
that means
believe
the-
it's consistent with the opinion I gave. I'm gonna find the opinion.
All right, any other questions? All right, at this point, I adjourn to
Let's
executive session.
I will make a motion that we adjourn. Everybody second it, please?
I'll second it.
Why don't we ask this guy to get the,
Aye.
The garage floor opinion you can share with the group.
Oh, definitely.
Thank you very
Yeah,
much.